Hello, my name is Gracie Henderson, and today I'm going to be talking about an archive of all of my autographed and signed memorabilia that I have on my walls of my bedroom. Let's get started. I'm going to kind of go in chronological order for the most part. I'm going to start with the first autographed anything I believe to my memory that I've ever received. It's right in front of me, actually. It's my signed Green Day poster for their movie Heart Like a Hand Grenade, directed by John Roker. When did I get this? I got this in 2016. I was in 8th grade, so I had to be 13, maybe 14 years old. I technically won it on Twitter in a giveaway. The director of the film Heart Like a Hand Grenade, John Roker, was doing a live tweet session along with the film that was playing on some channel on cable back in 2016. He said, top 10 people who live tweet with me get signed merch by the band, and I did that. I had to ask my mom to stay up past my bedtime to do that because 8th grade. I remember that being one of the most exciting times of my life up until that point, and honestly, low-key, not many things top it still. It was a very exciting time for me. Green Day's been one of my favorite bands since, gosh, I don't even know, maybe 6th grade. I guess at that point it hadn't been that terribly long, but they've always been one of my favorites. Me and my mom bonded very heavily over them and saw them in concert, actually. Never met them, did not get this from meeting them, but still very, very cool to me. But yeah, on to the next. Next, we're going to talk about my Cigarettes After Sex signed poster that I have framed on my wall behind me here. I saw Cigarettes After Sex in concert in 2017, I believe, so this would make me 15 years old. I saw them with a friend back in high school before they got TikTok famous or popular that way. I tell people these days that this is like the least thrilling concert I've ever been to in my life. Very slow music, very red wine, filet mignon music, not crowd standing music, in my opinion. Still had a good time when we were there. As we were leaving the show, we saw them in Charlotte at the Underground or the Fillmore, one of the two. And there's a bar located like across the street, or not across the street, but next door somewhat. And this man came out and he was like, "Are you guys fans of the band?" And me and my friend were like, "Yes." And he was like, "They're inside this bar here if you want to meet them." And we were like, okay. So we went in there, and lo and behold, they were sitting at this table. There was like one person waiting in line to meet them, and we met them. My friend did most of the talking. Very, very awkward in meet and greet situations, so I usually don't pay for them. That's why I also, every time I can acquire one of these things, I find it to be a blessing, because I almost never pay for meet and greets. But yeah, she took a picture with them. We talked to them for like a couple of minutes. I told them, I really liked your set. I bought a poster at their concert, like had it with me, and I asked them to sign it, and they did, and it is now in a frame on my wall. I think it looks very aesthetically pleasing. The next two I'm gonna kind of combine because their stories are somewhat combined. My broadside posters and my sworn in autograph poster that I have. I got both of these at Warped Tour, but I got them at different years. So I went to 3 different Warped Tours. I struggle to remember the years, but they were 3 years in a row, 3 consecutive years. I believe it was 2017, 2018, 2019. 2017 is when I met Broadside. That was the first Warped Tour I ever went to. I didn't know anyone on the lineup. I actually looked through the whole lineup and looked through almost everyone's like more popular music to try to find bands I would like, because I was going with a friend. The same friend I saw Cigarettes After Sex with, actually. But I really, really wanted to go because everyone I had talked to that had been back then, 2017, I was 15, like I said. Everyone just said it was so cool and so fun, and I loved the emo music and the punk music, and I just wanted to go so bad. And Broadside was not the only band that I found that I enjoyed, but they were the main one that I really, really liked their music before I actually got to go to the festival. But by the time I went, I was a fan of them. I got to be up front at their set. It was very cool. I got to meet them in their tent. I got a poster that I took down off one of the fences, and then I also got a poster for free from them because it was raining and they were like, we're getting these out so they don't get wet. So I got 2 broadside posters, and then I got autographs from them in my little sketchbook that I had at the time. There's 2 autographs on that sheet that you will see that's from another band, but that band like low-key fell off the face of the earth. I did meet that band when I got their autographs, but I never got a poster from them. They never made music after that Warped Tour. I think their name was Abbey on Row. It's just like a side story. Sworn In was another band that I met at the Warped Tour after my first one. It was my second Warped Tour I went to. I actually went to Atlanta, Georgia to go to that in 2018 with some friends I had met online. And we both really liked Sworn In. We saw their set at Warped Tour, and we went to their tent as well. The whole Warped Tour situation, obviously every band on the lineup plays a set time, like 5 to 7 stages that they disperse all the bands to. And then every band has a tent somewhere that they can sell their merch. And then most bands do meet and greets at their tents. Typically, any band at Warped Tour can be met and autographed, and so that was always a cool experience for me to just go and be a part of, because you always had the chance to meet your favorite people. We're going to talk about water parks here in a second. I never met them at Warped Tour, but I got to see acoustic exclusive live sets from them. So much cool stuff. I love water parks. We'll get into that next. Next, we were talking about my water park signed entertainment tour poster. I got this in 2018. I was 16 at this time, sophomore in high school. To be completely frank, this is just one of many water parks memorabilia items that I hold near and dear to my heart. I love these boys very, very much. I've been going to see them in concert and listening to them and all sorts of stuff since 2017, maybe 2016. The first time I saw them in concert was 2017. I actually went with the same friend that I went with that Warped Tour in Georgia. And that's kind of like what our first bonding moment was when seeing water parks. Was my first time seeing them. I got this particular poster when I did, this is the only meet and greet I've ever paid for. I paid to see water parks, see and meet water parks for the entertainment tour. This was the 3rd time I'd seen them. Like, I struggle to, because I've seen them at this point in time, I've seen them 8 or 9 times. I still struggle to keep count. This was the 2nd or maybe 3rd time that I had seen them live, and I was like, I need to pay for a meet and greet. It's gonna happen one day, and if anything, it's just gonna keep getting more expensive. So I did it when it was $50. Met the boys. Was very awkward for me. Like I said, when I met Cigarettes After Sex, I don't do talking very well, and I had no one with me because none of my friends like water parks and never have. But it was still I hold that experience very near and dear to my heart. While it was very awkward and I didn't get to say much to them because I was so awkward, I did get a picture with them. I'll try and put it up here. I got the signed poster. It's one of the many times that I get to put in my like repertoire of times I've seen water parks, and just watching them grow as a band and grow as people and growing as a person as all of that happens. It sounds corny as all get out, but I love those boys. Next is the drum head I got from the Speed Tour in 2024. We're jumping. I got this seeing NASCAR Aloe. NASCAR Aloe's, I guess you'd call him a rapper, like a grunge rapper almost. He does a little bit of screaming as well. Me and my friend Allison went to see him in Charlotte. He's from Lexington, North Carolina. He had a band open for him that are more metal and screamy. Their name was Emo Zan. I really liked them. I'd never heard of them before we had gotten there, but we watched them open. I really liked them. Went to their table for their merch and stuff just to like look around. I saw this signed drum head and I was like, that's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. When I would go to Warped Tour, I would see drum heads being sold sometimes, and they would be very high dollar at a time when I was a child with no money, and also super high dollar because of the people who had signed them. But this was an unknown band, so I decided to cop just because I thought they were cool. I thought it was a cool thing to have. I never even met the band, but it was a very small show. It was a pretty cheap drum head. I was satisfied. I still am. It looks cool on my wall too. Next is my Taylor Swift signed poster, I guess you'd call it. I've never met Taylor Swift. I've never seen Taylor Swift in concert. I don't know if I'd ever really want to meet Taylor Swift. I would actually really love to see her in concert. I tried to see her in concert when the Eras Tour happened. Ticketmaster said, nope, you're not doing that. Probably for the greater good. I hear those tickets were really expensive for what it's worth. I saw Paramore that same year instead, so, you know, all love, all power. I did buy the Midnight's album on vinyl when it came out. I believe that's 2022. So we're going a little off of chronological order. But I've been a Taylor Swift fan probably throughout my entire childhood, since probably the first album. That just definitely bled into my preteen, teenage, and adulthood, having to accept that bitter truth that I may never see her in concert after that whole Eras Tour debacle. Acquiring a signature through just selling it with the vinyl is how I got it. Was pretty cool. So it's pretty cool to have on my wall. Last, not least, my Ben Platt poster. I actually acquired my Ben Platt poster the same way I acquired my Taylor Swift poster, but I have seen Ben Platt in concert, and it's probably my favorite concert experience I've ever had, just because I got to go to New York City for it. He was doing a 2-week run at the Palace Theater on Broadway. He brought out special guests for each night. I went the last night of the tour. I bought tickets, plane tickets for me and my friend to fly to New York City, stay at the Hard Rock Hotel, and see Ben Platt. Our concert tickets were balcony seats, to say the least, because we had to cut some corners somewhere. However, I got to spend 24 hours in New York City. We stayed in Manhattan. Very cool experience. I've always wanted to go to New York City. I've always had 3 places that I've always wanted to go. And it's New York, California, and Canada. I couldn't tell you why. But I've always wanted to go to those places, and I got to cross that off the list by my own means. Was the even cooler part, is like, I did that spending all my own money, and I did that all on my own with my best friend. So that was very cool. The special guests he brought out the night me and my friend were there were Sam Smith and Jennifer Hudson, and I don't know. If anyone knows anything about me, they know I love Jennifer Hudson, and I love that there could have been no more perfect person for him to bring out. While the autograph I have from him is not connected to that, I do have a playbill from the night. I have a cup with the logo on it. I have a t-shirt. I have a bunch of stuff from that night. And the autograph, just having that. I'm just a big Ben Platt fan in general, so that's similar to the water parks thing, is kind of adding to a collection. I get really giddy every time I think about that trip and telling that story. And aside from the Green Day poster, it's probably one of my favorite things that I have, just because it reminds me of that experience. That's been all of my autographed things that I can think of that I see in my room, that are on my walls at least. I actually really enjoyed telling you about them because I enjoyed going through all these stories. It was kind of like walking down memory lane, because a lot of these I acquired throughout my high school and teen years, like my young teen years. It's really weird to think about how long it's been since I was a young teen and since some of these things happened. Yeah, but thank you for going on that journey with me, and I hope you enjoyed this archive of autographs. It's a good title.